Guys, everyone confirm whether you can hear Vipin's voice.
Please, everyone, just let me know my voice is clearly audible for you.
Guys, can anyone confirm that whether you can hear the voice clearly?
Yes, sir, audible.
Audible, right, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, we can go
Okay.
ahead. We can go
Okay.
ahead.
So,
Yes, you can go ahead. Yeah.
okay. So, I am just going to share my screen so you guys can check out my starting working or it's related to the pixel art. So, we'll share the screen. So, give me a few minutes and so you guys can. So, just let me confirm when your screen is visible. So, is it visible for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So as we all know about that, today's session is related with the pixel art and pixel art. So with the name, we can easily understand that pixel related with the digital platform and digital screen. So which art is related with the digital screen, we can do on art on digital screen. It's called pixel art. So before taking the session on going to the start on artistic flow, we have to understand about that pixel. What is exactly pixel? I'm not going in a deep technical knowledge of pixels. Just start giving a very brief knowledge about the pixels. So here you can see a pixel is the smallest unit of a digital image or graphic that can be displayed and represented on a digital display device. So everyone knows about that. The pixel, it means we are watching on a computer screen. So there is a small pixels can create the form or image, like a text, video, or any visual thing on a computer display or mobile display, right? But in a last line, it's very interesting. A pixel is also known as a picture element. Picture element, it means the element of picture. So you guys aware about that? What is picture element? Element, I think in a Hindi, we call it tattva, right? So tattva, it means the essential aspect of anything which we want to create. So like we have listened a lot of time in our mythology and there is a word human body made with the five elements. Everyone knows about that. Am I right? So these five elements like air, water, fire, earth, and sky. So these are the five elements. So elements, and you guys read, I think, about an element of design, elements of drawing. So like the line, shape, color, texture, right? So it's called element. So a picture element, it means the element of picture. So this is the very important definition of pixels, like pix element. Okay. So this is a very brief description. I'm not going in a deep technical knowledge about the pixels. Okay. So with the help of pixel, we create art. So it's called pixel art, right? So there's few images I collected from the internet, and you got there are lots of important games and popular games. In my childhood, I played Super Mario, Contra, and at that point of time, I was not aware about that. This game is based on pixel or what is pixel. Actually, I don't know about that. I was just enjoying the game. So here you can see the different kinds of designs and artwork. Actually, it's all pixel based. So pixel art is a form of digital art created through the use of software where images are edited on the pixel level. So images are edited on the pixel level. It means we work on a pixels. Pixels, like we can create different artwork on a square and just place the color. So the character look like this. There is no too much detailed character we find in it. There is no color blending we use in that. So color and character look very flattened, and we just create the volume with the help of pixels color. So not going to merge the colors and using blending and kind of gradient we can't use in it. So it's a very low resolution file, we can say. So we can it's a pixelate image. Sometimes we call the same word like it's a pixelate image. So it means these are the work that look like very pixelate, right? So it's artistic work. Now you guys can see the pointer. So everyone knows about that pixel art comes when the computer enters in our life, and there are graphic card is not too much heavy, and it's not possible the graphic card to render the heavy files or heavy pixels. So at that point of time, artists start working on the pixels. So they are producing these kind of artwork because lack of heavy graphic cards. So they start working on the pixels. So they create these kind of artwork. Okay. So they are creating characters, backgrounds with the help of pixels, and they painted and create beautiful artwork with the help of pixels color. But we think about that before pixel art, there is another artwork in 80s, 80 or 80s, 90s. We find pointillism. And pointillism is very much resembles, you find it's very much resemble like a pixel art. And at that point of time in 80s, 80s or 80s, 90s, artists working on that process. They are using dotted colors. They are same technique. They are not blending colors with each other, right? So it's the end of impressionism. So there are some artists, there are few artists who are working on that particular pointillism method. So pointillism is a style of painting. Actually, these are the painters. They are not working on a digital platform, so they are working on a canvas, right? So, but the technique was the same. So same technique now we can see in a pixel art. So when I was studying about the pixel art and I was working on the pixel art, so I found some great information about the pointillism. So you guys can see the difference and the artwork. So here is the pointillism. You can see the paintings. There are a few paintings in 80s, 80s, and 90s. So the same correction, same the color combination they using. They are not blending colors. We find in a pixel we found a square like this one you can see on my slide, and here in the pointillism you can see the dots. But the method is same. We have to pick the color and we have to place the color and we have to give an illusion of blending the color. Right? So we are just giving the illusion. So when we watch the artwork from the distance, we find a roundness or depth or volume in the picture for a landscape or still life, any kind of thing. So pointillism is a style of painting which involves using dots of distinct colors to create the illusion of form. Right? The same thing we will do in a pixel art. Right? It's not a new artwork. It's just the idea. It comes from the pointillism, in my opinion. Right? So the idea behind pointillism is that when you place two distinct colors next to each other, the colors will optically blend into a different color. Right? So same process we will do in a pixel art. So artist is working on the same method. They are just take impressionism. So pointillism we just speak in the 80s or 80s, 90s after the impressionist movement. Right? So here we can say the start of artwork creating with the dots, not blending the colors, just start with the patchwork. We can say they're using dots, and in a pixel art, they are working on the squares, right? So the process would be the same, the style would be the same, and an artistic sense we have to understand about that. What is pointillism and what is pixel art? So if you guys understand about the pointillism, so it's not a very much different kind of work, very much resembles like a pointillism. So now I'm just sharing some tools. So how you work on a point pixel art. So if you talk about pixel art, so definitely we need some software or we kind of digital platform where we can create pixel and pixel art, right? So Photoshop definitely is a Photoshop is a very useful tool, and we all guys about if we are coming from the animation background or gaming background, so we understand about the Photoshop importance. So there is a Photoshop on top, and there is a physical, Aspirite, graphics scale. So there are lots of other software too, and there is a lot of software is free, but another there is a lot of software is comes on a paid basis. So I picked some few important software for you. You guys can start working on a Photoshop. Photoshop is the best platform, and we all are very much comfortable with the Photoshop, I think. So my idea and concept. So how I establish my character and how I start going to my demonstration on my artwork of pixel art. Before I that, I just mentioned all the information in a sequential way. So that's my process actually. So in the concept, you guys can understand about that. This is a very written format of my concept. So a hunter is in the deep forest for in the search of birds and animals for hunting. He is very passionate for hunting. Hunting is his hobby. He's carrying a very old rifle of his grandfather. His grandfather was also a very famous hunter. So it's called character development. So here I just start developing characters. Sometimes when we work with the movies or clients, so clients give a brief of character. So we have to start making development. We just provide history of character. We just create a history, how he comes, how his upbringing is start, and how the family background of the character. So lots of things we can come out with the mind. So this is the few lines I mentioned here. So a character is established in my mind. So before we start drawing or sketching or kind of any kind of sketching where we have to start, we have to restrict our mind to run here and there. So I just mentioned all the information and in a few words. So this is called concept development. So if you first start, definitely I need to concept development. So after reading all the content about the concept, you guys can understand that what exactly I want to show in my demonstration. So there would be a hunter, okay, and there is a forest kind of thing, and he's a hunter, so he's in search of birds or animals in a deep forest, right? So he is carrying a rifle. So rifle was look a very old rifle, so he's because his grandfather is a very famous hunter, so he's taking rifle of his grandfather. And now this is called mind mapping, right? So before I start working on a character designing, it comes a mind mapping. Mind mapping is a term we can say use lots of famous artists working on that mind mapping. They start working on a fashion design, character design, background design. So every designer generally use this kind of mind mapping. And for me, it's a kind of character description, we can say. So in a character development process, we write our character history. So it's called character development. And in a mind mapping, we can say it's a character description, brief description of the character, how he look like, right? So with the help of character description, we can easily understand that we can restrict our mind what we have to do in a character, what we have to design in a character, right? So suppose the director wants character, he provides us the description and we have to design. So we have to understand about what exactly is running in director's mind. We have to understand that and we have to visualize the same thing. So what exactly running in his mind, he just provide us the description of the character. Sometimes we provide development also. So when we work about the character designing, so we have to mention all the information around the character. So my leading character is Hunter, right? And how he look like. So I mention all the information around the about the characters, what he look like, कौन है, age क्या होगा, everything. So everything I have to mention here. But we think about Indian art designer and generally, so in a Bollywood industry we talk about that. So there is character is fixed. It's fixed means so there is an Indian in Bollywood industry fix the character with their name and their profile also. So if I talked about that, if there is a character kind of name, one name is a Jatin Oberoi. So what would be his profile and what would be he doing? So what is designation? So definitely it's a Jatin Oberoi. So we can say it's a person who is from background of a businessman kind of person, right? And if I talk about the name as a friend Chotu, so it means Chotu, it means a helper. Helper, it means he would be a waiter in any restaurant or any kind of dhaba kind of thing, or we can say it's a 10 to 15, 16-year-old guy, and he's working in a kind of dhaba or restaurant, he's serving food. So this is called chotu. So definitely in India, I feel that it's my opinion that there are lots of artists who begin with the artwork with their name also. So sometimes we don't want hold the information about the called character description. We finalize our character with the name. So that's the problem. Actually, we need always we have to ask the description. If we want to design character, background, anything, just ask the information and just develop a character and just write all the information called character description or called character mind mapping. So that's the most important thing. You guys think about that. There is it's my real life incident. Once upon a time, I visited a college and there are two characters. One is Matthew Joseph and the second one is Pintu Mishra. One person is the principal of the college, and the second one is the student. So now with the name Matthew Joseph and Pintu Mishra, right? So you guys aware about that? Who would be the principal? So anyone can open the mic and just reply me. There is two characters. One is Matthew Joseph, and second one is Pintu Mishra. One is principal of the college, and the second one is the student. So who would be the principal? Then anyone? Just open your mic. If it is possible from your side. Am I
We
audible
request
to
all
you?
the students to interact so that it will be an interactive session.
Sir, can
Okay.
So
you please repeat, sir? Names are not clear.
So the name is one is Pintu and the second one is named Matthew Joseph. Okay. So who would be the principal?
Sir,
Am I
there's a little echo, so it's not clear actually.
actually my voice is not audible. Can everyone can let me confirm that my voice is clearly audible or not?
Sir, it's audible, but I think there's a slight echo, so that's why it's.
Okay. So no worry about that. I'm again repeating my same question is that there are two characters in my story. One name is Pintu Mishra, right? And the second one is Matthew Joseph. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now tell me, who would be the principal of the college? Pintu Mishra or Matthew Joseph?
Sir, Matthew Joseph.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the problem. When I visited the college, Mr. Pintu Mishra was the principal and Matthew Joseph is the student. Right? So because with the name we can justify and we can uh, uh, create our own character. Sometimes just, I heard the name Chotu. So Chotu means the character who is serving up. He's the kind of waiter. He's 10 to 15-year-old guy. So with the name we cannot finalize the character. Always ask the right client. Always ask with our company or production house. Just give me the brief description of the character which exactly director wants. Because if we not ask about the description, so it's not possible as a designer to develop a character or design a character. It's not possible for us. So always we have to ask the description first. And writer provides all the description, creator, writer provides the description to the designer. And as a designer, uh, description is the most important thing. But as you know about that, uh, just within a description, it's not possible us to design a character. Descriptions like that, sometimes you hear or seen in a lot of movies that some victim is giving demonstrate or description to the policeman or sketch person that the particular terrorist I seen, he look like that, he's a big beard, big mustaches, small eyes, he's a scar on his forehead. So these kind of important particular characteristics victim provides with the policeman. So with a description, he design a character, right? So, but it's not 100% matched. So that's the problem that with the word we cannot imagine the particular character because if this is the information which we have and I provide whole information to all of you guys and you guys, every student create their own character because I mentioned that information. It's a look like 38-year-old. It's an Indian male, strong body, heavy mustaches. There is a hat, coat with short cap, boot, broad belt, and rifle. Right. So I mentioned all the information, but information is not sufficient sometimes because if we are going to designing process, so we cannot understand that this information is sufficient for us and it's matched with the director's mind or not. It's not possible for me. So there's another thing. It's called mood board. This definitely this will help you to understand that what exactly running in director's mind and what director wants exactly which kind of character is running in his mind. So as a designer, we collect some information, we collect some pictures from the internet, and we are just creating a collage kind of thing. So it's just called mood board. So mood board it means we are collecting all the visual images from the internet related with the description and I collect a collage. And this is the collage work. It's called mood board. So with the mood board, it's Very much understanding. So I just go with the directors or client, and I send it the mind map and mood board with the director, and he advised me, okay, I like the first one's mustaches look very good, and the characters look like this one. Characters look much better, and it look like the same character in my story. I feel this is the best character. So now I have to understand that what exactly is running in the director's mind. So in this process, we can easily understand that what exactly director wants. So I have to work out on the particular character. With the help of mind map and mood board, we can restrict our mind to run here and there and making lots of unnecessary drawings. So this is the most important thing as a character designer, as an artist. We have to understand that what the client exactly wants. Don't go here and there and run, start with the working with the pencil or digital tool, start working on the character designing instead of working on your pre-production part. So that's a part of pre-production. Definitely it's a part of pre-production. So we have to collect whole information first. Some information we have to understand from the client or director's mind. So we have to create a visual. So in our mind map, we are creating visual with the help of words. But with the help of mood board, we can create visual images with the help of reference images. So this kind of reference we can click on with your own camera, or sometimes we have to just pick reference images from the Google and download it. Suppose my character is a hunter, so I just click some, just take references from Google and I download some reference images, how look my character look like and how it look like. So with the help of mood board, it's very much understandable to that what exactly I have to draw in my final design or I have to my character. So now I have to convert it into a cartoonish character or cartoonish character because my concept is that I have to create character for the pixel art. Right, so pixel art based character, so definitely we have to know, don't go with the realistic one and hyper realistic one. In a pixel art, as we know that there is a very restrictions for us, we have to paint pixels. So on pixels, it's not possible to create realistic or hyper realistic artwork because there is no blending. We have to just pick colors and we have to make volume in the color. So this is my basic process before I start working on paper or pencil or digital tool. I start making more mind map, mood board, brief character development for the developing ideas of my character, right? So this is basic process of mind map and mood board. Hope you guys understand about the importance of the mind map and mood board.
So there's
And
a question.
yes,
When you start, developing the mood board and get the idea, do you
yeah.
start with thinking about the color scheme as well?
No, no, no. Actually, there is a different kind of process. In a mind map or mood board, definitely sometimes the client wants the color scheme also. Okay, and directors have their own color scheme sometimes. So if directors want that I want this particular color scheme because it's related to my brand or some kind of character, it's related with my theme. So definitely he provides me the particular color scheme. So I have to work out on the particular separate color scheme which exactly directors want. So I want some ideas from the director side or creative director side. But if there is a freedom for me, I have to pick my own color. So I will never go with the color palette because as an artist, color palette restricts my color flow, color value. Because if we think about the color palette restriction, so my mind is fixed with the two or three colors, right, or four colors. But if we go outside and observe the nature, observe the skin color tones, values, so definitely there is a lot of color. Okay, so I just want to play with the colors, and my advice is that if you guys are free or you are working your own characteristics or designing your own character, so just not restrict your mind with the color palette. Okay, just try to play with the colors. So just pick the colors, different color tones, and try to use colors. On a digital platform, it's very easy. It's not very much complicated to pick the light and dark colors, right? So in this demo, I will try to demonstrate how to pick colors with the light and dark tones. So sometimes if client wants, definitely I use with the color palette, but what exactly director wants. But when I feel free and there is a freedom for me as a designer, I use my own color palette. Okay,
Got it, sir.
okay. So this is my first layout. So you guys can see This is my mood board, and you guys can see my process. I start with the character development, then I mention the mind map. Mind map is a character called, also called a character description, and there is, you can see there's some reference images which exactly I have to draw. So now, this is my process. I start with the realistic one. And so there is a very traditional art. Actually, I love traditional art. I always try to make my drawing work on paper first. Before working on digital, definitely client want on digital platform. They want digital artwork, but I start working on my layout on my paper and pencil. I love it because, okay, it's not mandatory for all, but I love my traditional style. I love my drawing, working on a paper and pencil. So I start always working with a pen, paper, pencil. So just a very basic sketches. So I start with the realistic one. I always try when I want to make caricature, cartoons, or characters. My initial start begin with the realistic flow of character because I just want to make my character drawing strong. So I always start with a realistic approach. So you can see my first start. I start with a very basic shape. I create a realistic character. It's not necessary for pixel art. I know that. I am aware about that. It's not my character. But I start working with the realistic character. And then I convert it into a semi-realistic character. You guys can see the flow of nose, the eyes, the ears, mustaches, chin, and you can see the details of the character. But now it's more simplest. So it's a very simple character. I start with a very basic shape. I converted nose in a round shape. It's look like very toonish character, right? But as a designer, definitely I hear this word again and again from the client side. Client always want that do it more simple, do it more simple, do it some creative effort, do some creative. So that's the challenge for us as a designer. We always face with the client side. We always want some simple character, and definitely in a pixel art, we have to make character very simple. This is the main focus as a designer. We have to convert a character into a very simplest form. So this is the challenge we always face when we work with the pixel art, right? So we have to convert character into a very simple form. So this is the process. This is my process. It's not forcefully work on that. You start with the realistic one, then to convert it into a semi-realistic, then convert it into a toon. It's not the process, but it's my process. I love it. I love always to drawing with the realistic one. Then my mind is running, and then I convert a character in this form, and then convert it into this form, and then see the next step, my final result. So there is a lot of designing. Actually, it's not a design like that. You start working on that. You just get the information from the Google and check out some cartoon character from the Google and start making drawing. And it's not called designing. So if you want to be a good designer, you have to understand about the designing process also. So now you can see this one is a triangle. It's a very basic triangle. You guys can see. My cursor is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the triangle. And just I flip the triangle again. So there are two characters. You can see. I am just going to convert it into a very simple character. So in a simple form. So you can see it here. I just flip the character. I make mustaches with a beard. Simple triangle in the eyes. Lines sharp. And here you can see it's a circle. It's just a circle. Okay. I use this head with the help of circle. This one we can convert it into a rectangle or can do it with a square also. So this one again, simple character. You can see here is an oval and I flip that oval and make it different character. So you look. So now I use all the shapes to convert it into a simplest one. So you can see the difference. I start with the realistic one, make this one, call a semi-realistic character, then toonish character, and in a toonish, I convert it into a very simple form. So it's a very simplest character. It looks very simple. But when we talk about the pixel art, so definitely in a pixel, if I want to make character in a curvy line, so I use curved line, so it looks a little bit distorted images, distorted line size. It looks. So the most important thing that your character should be in a simple straight line. So your character look much realistic or very easy to form it. So this one is the main character should be. It look much better because all there is a curvical lines. This work is also be little bit slightly tilted lines, so we have to make it in a distorted image it look like. So when we work on a pixel, so we have to go through with that. But if we have a high resolution pixels, we are working on a 200 or 300 pixels, so we can go with that circle or triangle. It look good. But there is a below 50 pixels we are working on the character. So mostly your character should be focused on a rectangle or a square, right? So this is the process which I follow to design my character. So I just share all the information about the designing process. This is whole work is done in a paper or pen. So just a very basic ideas how I work on a Photoshop when I work with a Photoshop. So my character should be final, and my character would be like this, right? And now the second important thing, how I blend my character with the background. So it's called background integration, and this is again some layout work. It's again a layout work which I work on paper and pen. So I like most when I work with a pen, pencil, paper. So I love it actually. So you guys can do it the same thing on a Photoshop. Just go on a Photoshop, take different layers and start making your composition. And you are definitely, I'm sure about that. You guys very much aware about the rule of third kind of thing. So it will help you to understand how to compose your frame. So same thing I'm using here. I just make sure about the forest, so how it look like. So definitely before we start working on the trees, we have to understand about the form of trees, how trees look like. So definitely that's the part of the study. That's the part of observation. So you cannot avoid about that. Observation is the most important thing. If you want to design anything, you have to observe the character. So mind map, mood board, definitely mood board is a kind of observational exercise. So observation, it comes from the realistic images, realistic approach. So for the improving our observation skill, in every art college there is a session of still life, right? So with the help of still life drawing, every artist uh, increase their observation skill. So just realistic approach, we have to go with the realistic approach. Just place some objects, just go outside and if you want to draw a tree, so you have to sit in front of the tree, realistic tree, and then you have to try to draw how it trunks look like, how branch look like. So it will help you to draw it with your imagination. So when you start working with the imagination drawing, so you guys can see there is the result. But definitely it's a very much observational exercise. I walk out for the trees also. I make mood board also with the trees also. So definitely if you want to make the background, so you guys have to understand about the background too. You have to go outside, check out the realistic background. If you are not able to go outside and check out the background, so just go on Google, check out real references, collect the whole information in a realistic way. Realistic photograph. Use always realistic photograph. Avoid taking references from the sketching or drawing work. Okay, so here you can see I have drawn three references because not too much time for me. Actually, I have to develop the designs and background also. So it's my initial first character. It's running in a forest. You can see it here, and my frame is like this. So I'm just going to try to compose. So there's a tree, but it's breaking the rule of third, so it's not look much better. This one is good. The last one is a little better for me because here you can see the rule of third I am using, and you guys can see that little bit outward. This one is also look good, but the tree is a little bit cropped here. So this one is look much better for me, and you guys can pick your own, right? So it's your aesthetic sense. It depends on your aesthetic sense. What exactly look much better, and definitely, and if we are working with the for the client, so definitely we have to take approval from the client side. Is it clear? So sometimes as a designer, we feel that it look much better, but clients feel that it's not look good. So definitely it happens. It happens, and definitely sometimes we feel that our drawing is not good and the artistic skill is weak. But as an artist, we face the same challenges every artist has to face in their life, right? So if we, in the future we work with the client or production, definitely your best artwork, when you feel that this is your best artwork and client says that it's not look good, it happens. It happens in future, definitely. It happens for every artist. It happens with every artist. So we have to not disappointed about that. Just go through with your design, and sometimes we have to work with the client's aesthetic sense. So it all depends on the client's thought. So is it okay for everyone? So any doubt or any queries or question if you want to ask related with my process and designing part, you want to ask, so you guys can ask me.
Guys,
And
please open up and ask your questions to Vipin sir so that it will be cleared right away. Because from now onwards, it will be demonstration process, so you can learn how to do the pixel art in Photoshop. So he'll be guiding you in that process. So before that, if anyone have any questions, any general questions, just drop it to Vipin sir so that he can able to answer you. I think
okay,
you can go
okay,
ahead.
so
Sir,
yeah,
sir, do you also think like about the background story behind this character?
background story.
Like in what setting it will be used, or do we have to keep that in mind as well?
Actually, I have a concept that I have to design a character, right? So definitely there is a character, so we need to develop a background also. So there is no story. I have to create a still image with the background, right? So there is no story in it. But I just, when I think about the character, which kind of character I have to design for demonstration, there are lots of things running in my mind. So there's a lot of character, as you guys know about that. If I just give you a task that you have to design a character, so there's a lot of characters: a supernatural character, human character, anthropomorphic character, positive character, negative character, semi-realistic, cartoons, toonish. So there are a lot of characters comes in my mind. So now you have to restrict your mind. So don't go with the stories. Just restrict your mind and control your mind and focus particular of the single character, which you can easily convey, which you can easily demonstrate in a short demo. So I just focus on the particular character and start working on particular character. So some characters I just see here and there on a Google or something. I found there were lots of characters. So I begin with the Hanita. Okay, so it should be very simple, should be very clear. So there is no story behind the character. I just mentioned the character development just because of restrict my mind. Okay,
Yes, got it, sir.
okay. So now just sharing my screen with the Photoshop. So just let me confirm. My Photoshop is visible. Is it visible for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when I work, so that's my weak point. That when I work on any kind of design or drawing, so I forgot to talk. Okay, so just remind me that I have to describe each of everything if I forgot that. So definitely we go with the create new, and definitely there is a point. So you have to focus on that inches, centimeter, meters, points, and so on the top side we have pixels. So definitely we have to pick the pixels, and we have to pixels. So I'm just taking 32 minimum pixels I have to work out. So I will show you with a few pixels how can we design a character, because in a high resolution image, in a high rate of pixels, we can definitely design characters. It looks maybe even blended. But with a low resolution characters, little bit complicated to us to how to pick the colors and how we provide form in the character. So just going to give the name also. So it's important. I think this basic process, all we know about that. So there is a 72 resolution, not a high resolution character, so very low resolution character, RGB mode, and then we are going to just create. So just see the file. It's a very low resolution file. You can see. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I just give me 2 minutes so I can. So there is no pixel. You can see there is nothing. There is no pixels. So if you want to see pixels, so you have to go in a view, right? Or you can show, then you have to go on a right grid. Or just open that. So now you can see. Is it visible? You can see the pixels, right? So just see this dot is called pixels, right? And we have to design whole character with the help of this pixels. So this is my pixel. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So and if you want to make some changes, Sometimes because this is the most important thing as a digital artist, we have to understand all the tools and techniques. So go with the preference here, and you have to make some changes in your work profile, and you guys have to understand there is a guide, grid, and slices. So go inside, and there is a guideline. So sometimes it's converted into a four, so you guys can four, five, six. So this is subdivision. So when you see now, I'm just going to zoom. You can see the subdivision of the particular pixel. So it will help you to understand sometime, but it's not mandatory to do. I will always avoid it. So you guys can same thing, just avoid, always do it in a one subdivision. With the background color, always I fill with the light gray, look much better, right? And go on a general. Sometimes this setting will help you to give hard or sharp edges. So just always click on that nearest neighbor, preserve hard edges. Sometimes it comes on a best smooth gradient. So just avoid it and just click on the nearest neighbor, right? Hard edges. Just go. Click on OK. Is that okay?
Yes,
Any
sir.
doubt or anything you want to ask? Is it okay? So now I'm going to take another layer, and this is my character. So I'm just mentioning here the name on layer, the hunter, or I have to draw first only hat. So I just mention the name hat. Right. So is it clear? So I don't want this kind of grid, so I'm just going to avoid this grid. So just go view, show, and hide it. So now my canvas will look much better for me. So it's clear, and going to pick the color. So pick the color. So just see, I will always try to just when I work on a character, digital or traditional style. I was working with a sometime I was working with a watercolor, so I never mentioned my color palette. I don't know which color I have to use for the color at that point of time. Sometimes my colors look very much different. So I always suggest you that as a beginner, as an artist, you have to understand about the color theory. You have to understand about the color principles. You have to understand about the color scheme. But don't make sure that when you start working nature, so just always make sure about your color palette. Don't fix in a swatches. Okay, so always try to make different colors in a nature, different colors in a skin tone. So it will help you to understand that in which color you can comfortable. Just start working on your colors. Pick any kind of color, right? So always try to pick color from this palette. Don't make swatches on that. So I just want to make little bit greenish tint, and I just pick the color. Look good, right? So this is my initial start, and this is I have to start with a hat. So begin with the stone. You can see, is it visible for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basic designing, start with the basic shape. So it will help you to understand that what is running. Now that is done. Is it okay? So because we are working on a pixel, we can't do anything. If we are working with a zigzag line, you can see. If my face is circular, so it look like this. So you can see the distorted images, right? So I'm going to make it very simple. So form of square or rectangle. So going to take a layer below the hat. So it's called face. So always mention the name because face comes below on the hat. So just pick the going to pick the color also there, skin tone. So as a gaming point of view, we have to take color, bright colors for the face or any kind of costume. So we are just picking the colors from little bit brighter and just pick any color related with the color tone or skin tone. So which color is you feel best? So just go through with the color. Just using this color, I have to make dark or light also. So this is my color, and start working on the face. So again, very simple face I have to use. So just mention height, make neck, also look neck, and I need white color for eyes. So just going to take the lightest tone, and here you can see. tone. Now we need a black tone. So I'm just going to pick very fast black color for eyebrow. Right. Again, as a digital artist, it will help you to understand that with the help of Alt, you can pick the color. Right. So if you want to pick the color, just press Alt. So you can pick the same color. But as a traditional artist, uh, I hope in future or in a past in your 12th standard you guys work out with that traditional painting. So in a painting, it's very much complicated. As an artist, we have to create the same color the next time. So it's not possible for immature artists that they produce the same color the next time. So, but in a digital tool, you can see it's very easy. If I want to make same color, so I can pick. If I want to make black color, same, so I have to use it. So now, right? So this is my character, and I have to make that color here also. So this is my character face. Now I have to start with the costume. So again, on the top of the head, I have to create costume. So taking new layer and making costume. Right. So always mention the name because in the last we have to merge all the layers so we can make changes, height, width, we can even change in it. So always try to do your drawing in a different layer. So this is the where digital tool helps you to understand that. But the skill is different thing. So now if I want to make some practice changes here, you can see make your character very simple. Right, there's a belt I have to place. So just going to flat this way and right, and hand comes on the side, so the sleeve looks like. And definitely, one more important thing I have to forget to describe you. Always work with the pixel when you are want work with the pixel drawing. So always go a little bit blurry, and when you work with the pencil, it looks sharp. So always use pencil for the coloring in pixels. So if you are working with the pixel design, pixel drawing, so always use pencil for that. Okay. Same thing we have to do with the eraser. When you work with the eraser, always click here and convert it into a pencil. Just take pencil for the eraser also. Okay. So if you want to erase anything, you have to take eraser for that. So go to eraser. Is it okay? Now, if I want to erase anything, you guys can easily erase it like this way, right? So I have to create the brush. So again, I'm taking my pencil and it's the same color for the capping. Need some more costume about that. So costume. Want to erase anything? So I just think that I have to erase some point. So working on the eraser, just take eraser, use pencil, then remove it, remove it, remove it. Same thing we have to remove. And now I have to create the language code. So just going to right. So I have to make belt and it's a broad belt which I mentioned that. So just pick that brown. Okay. And then there I have to make darker tone. And this is my capri. So I have to pick the legs. So for the leg, just taking a different layer, bottom of the costume, So mention the name. In the last, I have to merge all the layers. So just focusing particular different kinds of layers. So going to mention the labs. So little bit back. So yeah, I want to hide. So now for the hand, so come on the costume and then there is a hand. So just take another layer, go and mention hand. So go on the same layer and pick the skin tone. I think I have to use eraser again because it looks too much high. So on the eraser, go to costume and move it from here. Okay, so now okay, the pencil again. Now in forehead, fingers, right. Okay, so this is my character. It looks like this, and I have to create the hair also. So just start with the ear. So character looks like this. Fine. Okay. Now, rifle definitely is a very important part. So make it on the top and just click and make rifle. Creating another layer and picking the tones. So top part of the rifle is comes with the resistance. So just see. If you want to create a straight line, so definitely we have to pick short shape. With the help of shift, we can create the length of rifle. Right, this is the rifle, and I have to pick that tone. Right, so we have to go inside it, and we have to make a little bit darker tone with the use of yellowish tint. It look like wooden tint. So my current tone is this, and new one is this. Okay, so ये मेरा current tone था, मैंने इसको थोड़ा सा पिक किया. I have to make it a little bit yellowish tint, so I have to change the color. Okay, so yep, again picking the same shift. Just doing the same thing, right? And press Alt, or if I want to make this one color is from here also, can just using the color here also. Using shift again will help you to understand that same color I have to put here, and then okay, so here it looks like this, but it looks a little bit distance in it, so I have to remove the gap. So just go on costume and also I have to remove this part. So just go on costume and remove. Now just go on a rifle and you can make it here. So now it looks much better. Okay, so now it's a very basic color picking. It's just pick the color and fill in with the costume. Now I have to merge the color because I have to all the layer I have to merge. So just going to merge the layer. So on a rifle, then I take shift with the space and just do Control E. So my character is on a single layer right now. Now I have to do variation and and give form in the color. So definitely I need to use the same color, going to pencil and pick the color, the same skin tone, and going to pick the little bit darker tone. So just using change the color. So you guys can see, use always the same method when you want to make dark or light shades of your color. So for the color point of view, you have to decide the light first, where light comes. So my light sources comes from the left, okay, and now my darkest area on the right. So right area, so we have to fix that. This should be a little bit darker. Depth near mustaches and the round nose looks darker. For the forehead, it comes darker, right? On the back side of ear, it look little bit darker side. Okay. So if I want to do more darker, then in a future we can do it. So okay, and just see that the depth will be just create. And now for the head. So again, pick the same color and go in the color and just make little bit darker shade. So we are going to just pick the darker shade. You can see current or new. So you can finalize the characters. Okay, this one is okay. So again, the same thing we have to use on the back side. Light comes on the right side. So just do it. And on the depth, you can pick right. So same thing we have to use for the hand point of view. We are picking the mid tones, not a shadow. Okay, so we are working on a mid shades, right? So same thing we have to do in a here and this one also, and this one here you can pick, right? So again, in a depth of that we have to create the darkest shade, and here you can place the darkest tone of the coat. So again, you have to make sure about that, and we have to pick the darkest one, right? So this one is my darkest tone, and I have to make it on here, here, here also, here, right? So do it here also. I have to pick mid shades, so just go here and just do mid shades, right? And want darker shade of skin tone or drapery, so we can start again the darker shade on the back, dark shade here, on the top here, same thing we have to work out on the darker shade here, full darker shade here. Again, and some mid shades. So you can see my color palette there, right? I want more darker shade, little bit darker more, so I'm just going to pick the same dark shade and go a little bit more darker. So my color is changed now, and it creates some depth with the pant. So just create a illusion of depth again. Now I have to do the same darker shade in a depth of arm. So arm should be a little bit darker. Come outside and I work with a darker tone. So just pick the same tone, darker shade in a bottom of the hand. So shoulder also. And you want to make depth a little bit darker, so please come outside. Now darker tones here, same shade we have to go through with that, right? So this is the basic illusion. When I do zoom out, so you can understand that. So this is my lighter and darker shade, and part of skin tone, I have to make a little bit more darker shade. So just picking the color and again picking the little bit more darker shade. So go through the first one, mid shade, and you want to make darker tone. So this one will be my darker shade. So darker shade comes here, here, and you can see here, here, right now, and do it here also. Okay, if I want to do shoes, so definitely shoes is also I have to create some lighter shade on shoes. So just going to pick a different tone for shoes, little bit lighter. So let's see, is it okay? So now okay. So this is the way we create the illusion, right? And my character looks like this. When I zoom out, you can see right? This is my character, right? Now I have to create background, so I'm just going to new and creating new file. Now my background should be a little bit heavy, so I just picking 128 pixels into 100. So in a deep designing, I have to start with a 128 100 pixels. So I'm going to just create the same RGB file, and the resolution should be the same. We have to create 72 resolution. No, all that and RGB and my cube. Okay, so this is my background, right? Taking a new layer and just placing BG, right? So start working on the background. Before we start working on the background, we have to pick character. So I'm just going on this layer and just drop my character. Yes, so you can see this is my character, and just place it where exactly you want. Place your character, and now go back and just place the background. So start working on a background. So I'm just going to place my
Sir,
character.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you created this character, so now is the size and quality is fixed now? Like you cannot.
Actually, in a demonstration, I just want to give a demonstration that in a very low resolution pixels, how we work, and the high resolution, how can we work, and what would the difference between you found in a different resolution. So this background file is 128 pixels. Okay, so we have lots of options. We have to pick the different colors. We can create much realistic background. But for the character point of view, we have to place a small character in this background. So character resolution can be controlled in our hand, and we have to pick very low resolution character. Okay, so you guys can understand that कि कब कौन सा कैरेक्टर पे और हम ज्यादा रेजोल्यूशन के साथ बना सकते हैं और कब हम लो रेजोल्यूशन के साथ कर सकते हैं. So in this case, I can there is no thing, just go out and check out the references. If you want to make low resolution characters, it look like this. Now I have to make a heavy resolution file, so I took 128 or 100 pixels. So we have an option to create much more pixels and create more realistic drawing. Okay. So for the background point of view, just going to create a little bit darker for the base. Again, so taking heavy brush and taking shift. Right, and now I have to use green tone. For greenery, I'm just taking this green, little bit brighter green. Now, it's my background, and one more thing, I have to create the sky. So it should be in a last layer. So I just place the sky and picking sky tone. So there are lots of every artist pick the sky blue on light blue. So instead of picking any color, just start working on a color and use very lighter tone because the character should be in a highlight. So just pick a very dull tone in a background. So just picking very lighter shade. And okay, so again, same using the shift and just fixing the background color. So you can see the pixel count. So there is lots of heavy pixels. I'm working on a 128 pixels right now. So and I have to create a good drawing. So now remove it and start working with the pencil. I have to create clouds. So taking a different layer on the top and just making cloud. So I start working with the background. So start making cloud. So you can see the resolution and come to the cloud, taking the tone and using the lighter shade. Okay, so start. From a pixel point of view, it's very much complicated to make curved lines. You find always sharp edges and distorted lines, you can see. But we have to create an illusion kind of thing. So avoid going to very realistic drawing approach. Start making illusion, right? So now it's a mid shade. So going to take a little bit darker tone of this cloud. So I am just with this one, and it will help you to create a volume in my shades. So you can see give a bubbly image reference and just create roundness. Okay. Now I want to do lighter tones. So again, I pick the lighter one, pick this one, and go on a lighter side. So in this way, you can easily finalize your color exactly what's running in your mind, but you have to be a good observer first. If you are a good observer, you can create very much realistic drawing with few colors. So it all depends on your observational skill. So just with this color, and sometimes you use this color, so it's creating illusion. Hitting with the Alt key. So this my cloud, how it look like, and I want to do some more tones in it. So just going to pick a little bit darker shade also, adding another tone, give a little bit dark. Okay, then this is my one cloud, and I just going to copy this layer. So I just use Control J, and I copy this layer. Okay, so now I have an option. So I am working with the eraser, and I'm just creating another cloud. So it looks a little bit different. So just remove, and you can create a different cloud. Instead of working on another cloud, just do copy. This is called the digital tool. So it will help you to understand that exactly what you are running in your mind and what exactly output you want. So it will help you to create very fast and quick output. Instead of working in a digital platform or traditional art, there is a basic difference. In a traditional art, you have to create again and again the same thing. You don't have option Control Z. So we have to work on another canvas, or we have to create another copy. But with the help of digital tool, it will provide you Control Z. So just down as okay. Yep. Okay, so this is my clouds. Now I have to create mountains in a background. So again, using mountains for the background point of view, I have to create mountains. So just going to remove this one and going to pick the color. So first of all, just press Alt and go inside it and take little bit darker shade, because it's a comes in a foreground. So just take a little bit darker shade. Don't do much darker tone, and start making sorry. Right, just fill it. So heavy pixel ratio provide you the option that you can create more realistic artwork. If you increasing your pixel count, so artwork look much realistic. So make little bit lighter version because light comes on that side, and this will be the same color tone using stone, and I have to do a little bit lighter tint. This is the lighter one, and light comes from the left side, so it's clear in my mind that I have to create that lighter stone on this side. Look, very much lighter. So again, going to pick that different tone. It's not matched with my thoughts. So my design idea is pick again and create a little bit lighter shade. Okay. Yeah. So this is the basic process. You have to focus on that. Light comes from the left or right. So half of this way you can create the even. Now the same tone and pick the little bit darker shade, little bit darker. So using the darker tone. So it will help you create the illusion. The different sides. So you can create. Right, so this is my background, and now you can see cloud and the background. Now I have to create tree, right? So single tree I have to draw. So just go on a top of the heavy layer, and here you can take another layer, named with the tree, and start picking colors. So first time we are going to start with the trunk and pick the color. Let's do mid shade first. We have to focus on that. So my color should be like this. Okay. So here we have to start that tone. Okay. So tree from the bottom it's broader and it goes narrow, and the leaf part and the bunches of top it should be broader. So we have to focus on that. The composition, that how composition look like. So just focus on that. Tree trunk and going to make it narrow on the top and divide it with the branches. With different branches, so you can see there it has a bulky, more broader roots, much broader, okay, and divide into the branches. Right now, this is okay. Okay, so this is my tree look. Now I have to start with the green area. It comes with the branch leaves, so picking the green area goes in a mid shade, so picking the same green tone, look like this, and start working on that. So focus on your drawing. So very rough drawing. Background should not be filled fully. So because background look comes outside with the leaves, you just make it. You have to create bunches. So roundness is the most important thing. Depth of tree. Do it with a dotted also. So it look much realistic. Make it curvical lines. Give space in a drawing. So the background comes outside, so it looks more realistic. Okay, so this is the basic structure of my tree. Now I'm going to pick another tone, so going to pick a little bit darker shade. So just picking the mid tone, so little bit darker. And start with the right side. So start making roundness, giving roundness in it. Depth in my tree, so adding depth and creating volume in it. So here you can see the difference. There is lots of pixels, so I have option to pick multiple colors. I can make more realistic drawing with the help of multiple pixels. So there is a lots of pixel count increasing, so we have option to pick different color tones and variation. And definitely it's a part of observation also. Without Photoshop or any kind of software you are using for the designing or drawing, it's a kind of tool. It will help you to create artwork, but it's not create artwork. So if you want to create artwork, definitely you have to be a good observer first. If you are a good observer, you can create drawing with any kind of tools. Right, so my opinion is that if you want to be a good observer, so go outside, check out always everything where you find the artwork, design, and see definitely realistic output, realistic artwork, realistic background, so you guys can understand that what exactly nature and how many colors comes in a nature. This is the first thing which I start with the creating volume in the tree. Now again I have to pick the colors and I'm going to pick little bit different tone. So just sliding my color tone and picking the little bit darker shade. So this will help you to create more output, but it's little bit different. So I'm just avoiding this color and picking another tone related with the same color thing. So my color tone is little bit slightly different and I have to make different tone. Okay. So hope so. It looks much better. The last one. Again the same thing I have to use. I'm using creating the depth in my tree and with the help of the same tone. Always use Alt key to pick the same color. Right. So in this way, just creating volume. On the left side, you have to create light. In a depth, you have to create much darker shade. In a mid shade, you have to create volume. So this way, take that tone. Okay, so then I have to create a lighter tone. So again, take that light tone and I want a lighter one. Lightest one, so just go and take that little bit from the orange and taking the lightest one. Okay, so yeah, tone gives much more realistic output and look volume. Let's say my tree I'm just adding somewhere, not everywhere, just focusing on that the source of light comes from the right, so I'm just showing the tonal value and creating. Okay, now start working again with the depth. So again picking the same color tone using the darkest or final output for my tree. It's a little bit darker shade. So for the darkest point of view, I have to go bottom and need more darker shade. So going to again, now this looks much better. Somewhere in the tree, you have to take the dark source, not everywhere. Just do it somewhere where you see some. So in the case, I can just give a illusion of depth. Don't focus on the flow. Somewhere. Right, so in this way we can create the depth. If you want to play some lighter shades, you can choose. This is the depth view, and we have to fill that background. So cloud is in the depth. Now creating layers, we have to make branches here, put some branches here, in the depth. So now I have to create volume in the branches also. So you can see it here. Okay, now the depth enough front, so just take the color and make sure the lightest one light comes from the left, so the lighter, the lighter. Okay, now I have to take the darker shade. So again, press Alt and make it darker tone. The dark side comes from the top. Here you can take the darker shade, darker tone. Right, so dark shades, dark shade also here we need. Now I have to take more darker tone somewhere, so pick the same darker color. Yeah. Place it there, somewhere here.
You know,
Like this. It's okay, I think it's sufficient for the rapid depth enough. If you want some branches here, so you can create branches here, so it's not tree. Okay. So now I have to create shadow, but before that I have to compose my character. So just picking the character and just make sure about the character. It comes right here, it will be here. I have to create shadow. So because without shadow it not look much realistic, so just picking the shadows on our top and the bottom of the tree, I'm just going to put the shadow. Right, so if you want to make shadow, so pick the brown color and a blurry tone, and you can see left side should be on a off in shadow. You have to get so just going with the rough point, you can see shadow and dark greens. Same tone we have to pick for the character also. More darker shade. After also, the nearby tones should be darker. And in distance, we have to pick blurry tones again. From there, it should be darker shade, so you can pick tonal value, adding the more tonal value, so you can create the shadow. And cloud, I have to move out cloud, so there's my cloud. Just set the cloud, so we have to compose it. So there are two clouds, so I can move it, and I have to compose the cloud. And for the animation point of view, it's most important thing you guys have to focus on that. When you create elements of moving, so you have to place it anywhere, but take it always at different layers. So you can switch it whenever you want. You can place in a different position. So that's the most important thing. So okay, I think from my side it's done. This is the final output. It looks like this. So this is a very low resolution character, and the background should be a little bit lighter and the more detailed version. I think with the multiple pixels. So in this way, you guys can create the impact with the pixels. No, we are not using blending color. We are not using brushes in it. We are using only pencils. We are working on a square pixels on that. So from my side, it's over. Over to Ajay sir.
It was nice. Yes, I think it was a great session. Thanks for the valuable session. I think there is one question in the chat, sir. I think you can go through that question and you can end the session, sir. Thanks for the valuable session, sir.
Okay, sir. So there are some questions in the chat box. But how do you deal with size and quality in the same time, as this kind of design is low quality based? Exactly, sir. Sometimes lots of clients want the resolution they provide us. If they want some very low, they want to upload their file on a website, or sometimes they want to upload their email, they want to create an emailer or e-invite, or they want to put it on a website. So definitely you have to work out on the low resolution files on that time. So in this case, we pick the same resolution, or we have to create the character according to the client's requirement. Sometimes clients told us that they have not sufficient space on the website, so they want very low resolution file. So we are going to create the character according to the demand of the client. So it's not realistic, it's not too much hyper realistic character. So we have to focus on the particular character form, and we create very low resolution file. Okay. Any other?
If you guys have any question, so please ask.
Anyone? No? Okay, I think there is no question, sir.
Yes, I think there is no question, so we can end up this session. Thank you guys for attending this beautiful webinar of pixel art, and it is by Vipin sir. He has demonstrated in a very good manner, in a good way, how to draw pixel art professionally. I think you guys have experienced a lot to see this demonstration, and in future you are going to apply this one. Thank you. Thanks for joining this webinar.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. It was a great session. Learned a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Thanks for your patience also. Okay, sir.
Okay, you can leave. Yes, yes,
So, shall I leave?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Guys, to give you a detail before I leave this session, your university name, your department name. Thank you.